If you're going to start a hair care business for Black women, you have the brand, I have the marketing strategy. Let's dive in. Number one, I want you to think about your differentiating factors. What is going to be about your brand that is completely different from the other brands? The reason why I say that this is very important is because this is what's going to determine people buying from you than buying from your competitors. For example, if your products are going to be for all hair care types, you're going to want to reiterate that every single time because that's going to be one of the reasons why people choose you, and you're going to also be known for that. Because let's be for real, there's a lot of brands that always preach one thing and then it's not. For example, like their sunscreen brands that always swear that they're for every person, but then they have a white cast. Or if you're going to have different lines for different type of hair types, you're going to want to reiterate that too, that you have different hair type lines for every single type of hair type. So you're going to want to think about what makes you different. Next, I want you to create an Instagram account. On this Instagram account, you're going to be posting different type of content. The first is going to be carousels that are going to be mainly educational. On these educational carousels, I want you to create content that is educational with the products that you have and how to use them. But I also want you to create carousels that educate what ingredients are in there and what does it do for hair care types and why they're so important, and also how to use them on different hair types. Then I want you to create reels. On these reels, I want you to create different pieces of content. The first that I want you to create is how to reels. And these are going to be how to do this hairstyle and incorporating your products so now people can see their products within the hair tutorial. They're going to see the hair tutorial, they're going to see whatever how-to video you're creating, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I want that exact hairstyle. But they're going to neurologically think, because this is consumer behavior and also neuromarketing, that they need that product in order to get this hairstyle because they want this exact hairstyle, because they want to replicate it and they want to see themselves in this hairstyle. So they're going to want to buy that product. So make sure you're always incorporating your products. Next, I want you to create reels that have to do with you as a business owner while you're also doing a hairstyle and also using your product. So I want you to do a voiceover basically talking about your journey and why these products mean a lot to you, or why you started your business, or why these products will make you go from X to Z, because you understand, because you already know the struggle. The reason for this type of content is because they're going to see themselves in you because they're going through the same problem and you're incorporating your product as a solution. And that is going to be some sort of neuromarketing that is going to make them want to buy the product because you understand them and you are relatable. Not only that, if you create another reel that talks basically about your journey and basically why you created your brand, they're also going to want to support you because maybe they're on the similar boat, or they know somebody that has the same story as you, or maybe they have the same story as you. So they're going to want to buy from you. Especially once you sprinkle your differentiating factor and you're going to say, that's why I created a brand that works for all skin hair care types, because I know how it feels being excluded or whatever. And that's when people are going to be like, damn, this girl actually cares about all hair care types. That's why I'm going to buy from her. On your stories, I always want to make sure that I know who owns the account. Therefore, I want you to be talking on your story sometimes on the product and why you care about them or why they're important. Just create educational content and always have some sort of like aesthetic slides of the product or the product being incorporated in people's hair. Another thing that I also want you to have on your reels all the time is different type of hair care types, if that is one of your differentiating factors, that are using your products so people can see themselves in different type of hair care hair types and not just one type of hair type, if your differentiating factor is for all hair care types, but I'm assuming that it is. Next, I want you to create a Pinterest. In this Pinterest, you're going to repurpose the content that you created on Instagram with the reels and post them on Pinterest, because those type of beauty videos do really well on Pinterest. Because we always see content like this about hairstyles or different hair types using different type of products. And the reason why these are super important on Pinterest is because beauty is a huge thing on Pinterest and they're going to do well, I can guarantee you. But make sure you're always linking your website or your Etsy on the pin so people know where to find your product like almost all the time, because they're going to also see like, okay, this is the tutorial, love that, but where does she get the product? Because I want the same hairstyle. It's neuromarketing for you because they want to see themselves in that person with the tutorial, because that's why they're going to want the product. And I also want you to post regular photos of your products on Pinterest, like very aesthetic like, and you also want to make sure you're using different people with your products, and you also want to make sure there's just regular photos, no video content, but just regular photos of your products or of people using your products very like aesthetically, and you capture a photo and then boom, you can post those are also really good, but make sure that you're always linking your website or your Etsy or whatever you're using. And if you are going to have a website, please have a newsletter, and in the newsletter you're always going to make sure you add a blog, and in this blog it's just going to be tips for hair types or specific hair types or products for specific hair types. It's always really good because you're giving free information, and you can also be Googleable and people can find your website. On top of that, in your newsletter, yes, please incorporate your blog in there, but also have a lot of value in your newsletter in order for people to read it, but in order for also people to buy your product because you're giving them reason to buy it. And then I want you to create a series called Hair Care Through Generations. And you're going to do that on TikTok if it doesn't get banned. If not, do it on Instagram Reels, where you're basically just doing your hair using your products, but you're talking on the regular camera, just like FaceTime. And you're going to talk about maybe one thing that your grandpa, your grandma, your mom, whatever, taught you about your hair. Make sure it's specific and make sure you're talking about it because this is going to make you relatable. And then also people can engage in your comments. And also being very specific is good because people can relate to it, but also being very specific leaves more room for your next series that can be another specific thing, and you're not giving all the information on one video. I would love to see that because it can be educational, people can relate, and people are going to find your account and people are going to engage. Would love to see that. Also, another thing before I end this video, I would love to see like a video where it's like, how do you go from this to this using this product, and then you start basically showing the tutorial on how to do it, and then you're also like using your product, so that's already like good. But yeah, that's what I would do. That's like a little mini strategy there. Yeah.